Okay, so here's the explanation portion of the Svengali deck. First of all, I want to thank you for making your purchase through 52 cards. I really appreciate the support. It really does mean a lot to me. But let's go ahead and get into this. So what you have received, or what you will receive soon, is the Svengali deck, which comes with a deck of cards. Then there's also a set of written instructions inside. Okay, but I'm going to go ahead and just give you some visual instruction here and kind of show you how this deck works and how to use it. So when you open your deck, what you'll find is that every other card in the deck is the same. So 26 cards are duplicates, and then the other 26 cards are just random cards. In my case, I have 26 9 of clubs. For you, it may be a different card. Okay, it's just going to be a random repeating card, but you'll see that every other card in my deck is in fact the 9 of clubs. In addition to that, all of the 9s, all of the duplicate cards, they're short cards. And what that means is that they have been cut just a little bit shorter than the non-duplicate cards. So I don't know if I'll be able to catch this on camera because it is a very subtle difference. But if you bring that up to the camera, you'll see that the 9 of clubs, if you look right here at the top edge, it kind of gets blurry if I bring it too close to the camera. But just trust me, 9 of clubs are cut just like a millimeter shorter than the rest of the cards. And that allows you to do some pretty powerful stuff. Okay, so a short card is a gaff card in Magic that's used in a number of contexts. But when you combine 26 short cards, 26 duplicate short cards amongst 26 other cards, you get a Svengali deck. And here's what it lets you do. Let me give you an example here. Because half of those cards are cut short, when you riffle through the cards, basically the way that you riffle through the cards determines what the spectators see. So you can riffle it in certain different ways to show, like for example, if I riffle it like this, I can clearly show that all the cards in the pack are completely different. And what's happening there is because I'm riffling from the face of the cards to the back of the cards, every time I riffle through a card, it's actually 2 cards that are being released from my finger. Because the card behind the card that's being shown is shorter, let me try to give you an example here. See the Ace of Spades, when I flip through it, that was actually 2 cards that went by, but the 9 of clubs is just hidden behind it. In this way, I can very fairly show that the deck is comprised of all different cards. Okay. Now, if you riffle it another way, if you riffle it from the back to the face, you get the opposite effect. And now I can show you that the entire deck is comprised of the 9 of clubs. Okay, so you're going to want to play around with just riffling the deck in different ways to achieve this. So a few other ways that you can display the cards is, the riffle is the most basic one. So let me just go over the riffle here. You basically have your thumb along the back edge of the deck. Your fingers are at the front of the deck, and then you kind of flex the cards upwards, and then you let them release off of the fingers at the front. Okay, that's the basic riffle. If you want to show all the cards to be random, you would want a non-9 of clubs or a non-duplicate card to be on the face. Okay, so you just slide one from the top to the bottom or something, and you would do this riffle like so, from the face to the back. So you hold the deck in Mechanics grip. I usually push it forward just a little bit, and now I'm again flexing the cards upwards, and I'm releasing those cards off my fingers as a display. Okay. Another way that you can display is more of like a dribble. So kind of like this. This is another very fair way of displaying that all of the cards are different. Okay, so the handling there is I take my hand into middle grip, I orient it upright like so, and then I let the cards flicker or release off my thumb here. My first finger is on the back of the card, back of the deck, applying a bit of pressure there, and it's just a kind of a loose way of demonstrating that. Another way of showing that all of the cards are the same is, of course, when you do that, you'll want to make sure that you have a 9 of clubs on the face of the deck. So one of the things that I did in the performance was I mixed a little bit of sleight of hand in there. So if you have a non-9 of clubs there, I do this 1 card pass. It's like a color change that takes the card from the face to the back of the deck. So I've actually done a tutorial on this in the past. I'll link you up to that on the screen and in the description box down below. But essentially what's happening is I'm just pulling that face card very quickly to the bottom of the deck. But check out the tutorial if you want more in-depth explanation on that. Once you have a 9 of clubs on the face, you can do the standard riffle to show all the cards are the same, or you can even do a dribble. A dribble will also get you that effect where all of the cards are seen as being the same. All right. Now, as far as the trick goes, the trick that I did in the performance video, keep in mind that there's an unlimited number of different effects and tricks that you can do with this deck, but I'll speak specifically to the one that I demonstrated in the performance video, so I'll link you up to that if you want a refresher. But I essentially did a very easy version of the ambitious card. Okay, it's super easy because it combines a few things. It combines a force. The Svengali deck is great for forcing cards because you can dribble the cards like so, and they can literally say stop anywhere they want. Okay, it technically kind of is a free selection. However, because of those short cards, you're always gonna have a 9 of clubs. It doesn't matter where you stop dribbling. Okay, it's always gonna be that way. You can have the spectator change their mind and keep going if you want, but it's just a surefire way to force a card in a very fair manner. After you've done that, bring it to the top. Oh, in this case, I didn't have a 9 on top. So you'd want to start the trick by having a 9 on top. And then no matter what, you can force the card, you can make it jump to the top. And then what I do from there is I cut it to the middle of the deck. And when I cut it, I want to make sure I'm cutting at the right spot. So all I do is I riffle from the face of the deck to the back of the deck. So I riffle up, and then I can stop anywhere. It doesn't matter where I stop, I cut right there, and that's going to ensure that the top card is going to remain a 9. Do the snap, boom. And you can do this as many times as you want. This is just a very clean way of doing the ambitious card. And then to kick it off, you know, the kicker ending in the performance I did was I flipped the cards over, and then I did the color change. So again, you can check the link to learn how to do the color change. And then, you know, you can, from there on, you can show all the cards to be the same. And you know, there's a few ways of doing that. You can do that, you can do the dribble. Another one that I did in the performance video is I literally dribble the cards on the surface of the table. That's a little bit riskier because sometimes the cards may separate, but more often than not, you're going to be fine if you practice that a bit. But you can very cleanly just spread the cards on the table. You can't do a ribbon spread, of course, but it's similar to a ribbon spread. Instead of actually spreading, you're kind of just releasing the cards off your fingers in a dribble fashion as you spread the cards across. Okay. So that pretty much covers the Svengali deck. If you have any other questions about the handling of this, how to use it, feel free to leave a comment below. And you know, I'd be happy to answer those questions for you. But thank you again for making your purchase at 52 cards. I hope you enjoy this deck of cards and get a lot of great use out of it. So take care, and until next time, I'll see you later.